Good morning, I'm the Hacksaw, welcome back to the channel. I am in Malmo in Sweden. I'm here for just a bit over a day, so I've got today, I arrived yesterday quite late in the evening, and then I'm heading off to Copenhagen tomorrow, so I've got not too long to explore, but one or two things that I want to just mooch around and do. So last night I went to a place called Bloom in the Park, and it's a beautiful little restaurant concept idea in the middle of Malmo. You have to excuse the birds, they're very noisy. And the idea is that they just bring dishes to your table, you eat them, you have no idea what they are, so they don't actually tell you what's going to be on the menu, and you don't know until the end where they give you a QR code, which means you could actually just not know at all if you wanted to. But it's a really cool idea, and I don't know why more restaurants don't do this, because to their point, they want food to be an experience. They want you to actually immerse yourself in it, and to be present, and to actually enjoy tasting and smelling and actually really getting into the detail of what it is that you're having. And so that's why they do this. And I mean, the food was delicious, really different and interesting, and really, really good. But the fact that I didn't know what it was meant I actually took my time with it, and I was trying to work out what each dish was, what all of the complex flavours of it were in there, which I never would do if I just knew what the menu was. So it was really good. I think it was obviously, it's quite an expensive place. I've done quite well actually so far with, I think I said before, with how much I'm spending on the trip. I'm under my hotel budget so far, which is good. I am definitely under my food budget. My fuel is coming in roughly around where I thought it would, maybe a little bit less. So I'm actually doing pretty well, and I was quite pleased to just spend a little bit and enjoy a really nice evening meal. Incidentally as well, I met a few people there who were also enjoying their meals. There was a couple from, I think he was Danish, she was Norwegian, gave me some tips on the next time we go back to Norway. And then there were a few friends who had come across the bridge from Denmark for the day, from Copenhagen, come to Malmo, who also had never been to the place before and were enjoying their food. So it was really nice just to chat to them and get some recommendations. And here are the dishes. So the first one was out on the terrace. I had an amuse-bouche, which was, there was a very nice sparkling wine which I got, which was a cuvée. Interestingly, it was English sparkling wine, which I never would have guessed, because it was very, very nice. And I think the idea that English wines are good is still somewhat of a misnomer, but very good wine. And the little thing there was, I thought it tasted quite fishy, and but I couldn't quite place it. It sort of tasted a bit seafoody, but I couldn't really place it. Kind of like a scampi. And it turns out that was a breaded Rocky Mountain oyster. And I'm not normally a fan of oysters, but that was good. Maybe I just don't like oysters, the sloop from the, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, from the shell. Not really been a fan of that, but yeah, this was really good. Next up was a white wine, which ended up being a Burgundy, a Côte Chalonnaise, apparently, 2021. And then this bit of, it's obviously a bit of fish. I am not good with fish, and I will eat fish. The problem I normally have with fish is that if it's poorly filleted and I get a bone, that puts me off, and I can't really do that. So I never really go for fish if it's on a menu, and I cannot tell the difference between different kinds of fish. But this was really, really nice. It was really very soft, not at all. It wasn't even flaky. It was like buttery smooth, and so it turns out this was a West Coast sea bass, with turnip mangold, which I've never had before, a leek and gooseberry relish, red currants and brown butter and lemon. Absolutely lovely. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. Next up was a rosé, and again, I wouldn't normally drink rosé because it's normally too sweet for me, but this was really nice. It was a Stellenbosch, apparently. And then this little bowl, and I could not work this out. I sort of thought that these were, I mean, obviously there's nuts in there and there's some leeks. You can kind of see the leeks. Couldn't work out what the beans were, and some nuts. And I thought they might be pecans. Did I think they were pecans? Well, anyway, I couldn't quite work them out. But yeah, this was Swedish leeks, beans, and hazelnuts, as it turns out, with brown butter. Then we had a red wine, and this was definitely my favourite of the night. Absolutely delicious red wine. And again, I normally have a hangover by the time I've finished my glass of red wine, to be honest. But not this time. It was really silky smooth. You didn't get that sort of harshness and that sort of full richness that you'd normally get with the red wine. It was really flavourful, but not too heavy. Really good. So this was a Le Brun Languedoc, apparently, 2018. Anyway, and then this meat, and it was really funny because I talked myself out of it. Obviously there's some vegetables there and a jus, which is very nice. But all the way through I was eating this, I thought, well, it can't be beef because I think that would be too simple. And it was it just absolutely buttery smooth. It just fell apart, this. It was absolutely lovely. And I thought, well, it can't be. It must be something else. So I kind of thought, well, maybe it's something regional. Maybe it's elk or it's, moose or something. I don't know. And no, I was completely wrong. I should have just gone with it. It was a beef, prime grass-fed beef, and it was a shoulder blade cut. I couldn't tell you how lovely this was. It was so good. Finally, a last glass of wine, which was a Riesling. Again, not something I would normally go for because they're normally too sweet for me, but actually, as a sort of more of a dessert wine, this worked really nicely. And to be honest, I think I was probably a bit slosh by this point anyway, so you could have given me anything and I'd have been like, ooh, this is so lovely. But yeah, so that was good. And then I got this little thing, and I again, so that it was sort of in layers, and the bottom layer was almost savoury. So it was a really interesting combination. You cut through it, the bottom was quite tough, and you kind of got this weird combination of a creamy flavour with almost salty something at the bottom, and then this sort of crackery type thing along the top. And it was a miso cracker. And then on this thing, it was a délice de Bourgogne with quince, corn, ancho, and I still don't know what that is, and a Fyrtons cream, or Fyrtons, not sure. But yeah, it was really unusual, this one. But yeah, really nice. Finally this, which was a dessert of, and I think this is probably the one that I could guess, which was a fresh and marinated summer berries and fruit with popcorn cream, which was quite nice actually, like almost caramel flavour, and basil dots. So yeah, there you go. That was the menu. And then I had a little coffee and a little praline. The owner of the place as well, Iggy, his name is, fantastic fella. All of the staff there are just wonderful, and I just had an absolute blast. It was so much fun, really lovely. Everybody there was just pretty chill. Like if you go into a bit of a, like not a posh restaurant, but like somewhere where it's a bit more expensive and all that kind of stuff, I hate it when they're a bit too pretentious. So I like them to be quite light and friendly and all that kind of stuff. And this was absolutely that, and it's all down to the owner really. He was just really lovely, really friendly, chatty. Turns out he's actually more of a Londoner, so he lived in London for like 30 years or something. So we chatted about motorbikes, and we chatted about traffic violations in Sweden and Norway, and And then, you know, the people that were left at the end of the evening, I think there were 3 tables of us just chatting away and having a lovely time. It was a proper good evening. So yeah, it was really, really nice. I'm actually going to go to a place called the Disgusting Food Museum a bit later on today, which is something that my wife Laura went to when she came to Malmo and said, have to try it. It's one of the top attractions here. And yeah, there's lots of things to look at. It's sort of challenging our views on food and especially culture as well. What different cultures consider to be good or disgusting foods. And there's lots that you can try. So I thought I might as well bring you along and you can have a look and watch me try some disgusting foods. So yeah, that's later on. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to sit and enjoy this view for a little bit longer. Watch the swans as they are dipping their little heads in the water. Just have a quiet day in Malmo, really.
We're going to start with the cricket.
Okay.
Put your hand like that. This is going to taste a little bit like a dry.
So I actually think I've had cricket before, and they're quite nice.
I mean, when they're fried, they're quite nice.
Yeah, because they're just like crispy bits, aren't they?
Exactly. Black ants. So these are smaller, right? But they're going to be a little bit more sour.
Right. Oh, I like them. Yeah, quite good.
A little bit of salt, a little bit sour, acidity.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, nice.
Okay. And then we have some the bamboo worm.
Bamboo worm.
Have you had pork scratchings?
Yeah.
This is going to taste a little bit like a really old pork scratching.
Okay.
Like an old funk one that's been left out for a few days.
Okay.
Strong flavor.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Then we have some miasma.
Say again?
Miasma.
Miasma. Okay.
Have you heard of brown cheese before?
Yeah.
This is a Swedish kind of version of brown cheese.
Okay.
Have you tried brown cheese?
No.
So brown cheese is when you take the whey from cheese production, right, and you caramelize it with this, which you normally call thing which we just call yeast here.
Okay.
It's just me, instead of letting it set, you mix in cream, like sugar, and flavors, right? So
Okay.
this is just going to taste a bit like salted caramel pudding.
Okay.
It's very common to give small kids. You have it on ice cream, you can put an ice cream flavored after this. It's like Swedish selection.
So we cannot make cheese without the same time.
Right?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's really good.
It's kind of sweet. Okay.
Doing all right so far.
Yeah, so far so good. We have a little way to go though.
Yeah,
We'll
true.
take it one thing at a time.
Okay. So this is durian.
Yes. These are kind of like a mango with an onion.
Okay. And it smells worse than it tastes.
It smells just as bad as it tastes.
I actually don't think I mind the smell that much.
Huh? That's a good sign. It's kind of sweet.
Did you like it?
I like it, yeah. I think it's quite nice. But it's a very individual thing. It's like a 50-50 chance of either loving it or hating it.
Yeah, not as keen on that. No,
What is it?
it's not. It's not really bad, but it's a weird flavour.
It's a weird mix of like savory and sweet,
Yeah.
which I like. Savory. Then we have century eggs.
Oh no. Okay.
They're actually perfectly fine. They like
Okay.
normal eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have century eggs here because they're kind of a visual disgust, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, they look horrifying.
This is going to taste a little bit like an overboiled egg with like a weird texture. It's going to be kind of jelly-like.
Okay.
You might get a metallic aftertaste. So you do leave it in the ground with like ashen clay. You can leave with a little bit of miserably taste.
Okay. It's not what you expect at all, is it? It's kind of eggy.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's got that much flavour, really.
Yeah. No, but it's only really have it with like condiments.
Right.
We'll just swap the seashell. So
Okay.
it's kind of salty, a little bit like soy sauce on the onion.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, that's not for me, that.
Have you had cream soda?
Yes, I like cream soda.
This is sour cream.
Okay.
That is kind of what it is. It's milk powder, soda water, sugar,
Okay.
chemicals, what more do you ask for? Like melon chewing gum.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
Right?
Yeah. Next.
Mon Release. So this is kind of like an Emmentaler Gruyere.
Okay, yeah.
This is Swiss cheese, aged for about 25 weeks, and it's going to be a little bit bitter. So it has been marinated or washed in red wine with maybe bacon sauce. So you get like a little bit of that classic quick sweaty.
Yeah, so you can smell that as well.
Yeah. Right?
You can taste it on the shark, but it stinks like a wet fart.
Wow, it's yeah, strong cheese. I mean, I like a strong cheese, but that is yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a strong cheese, it's not. This should also be fine. This is kind of like a gorgonzola. This is Vassaio al Pasito, an Italian sheep blue cheese.
Okay.
And has been marinated in a sweet white wine with golden raisins for about 3 weeks. You get like an intense kind of sweetness in the beginning, and then it's going to transfer into like
It
a...
smells fruity.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think there's a single piece of grape in here currently, but normally you can find like a...
Right, that makes sense because you can, yeah,
I like it very much. See, I think...
like it.
we don't have to finish on the best cheese. Maybe sorry, worst cheese.
Okay, worst cheese.
Worst cheese. This is Carlo Sardinian goat stomach.
Okay.
One of the versions is this making the stomach of the angel.
Wow. Okay. In the stomach of a baby goat.
So that's
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. It's very strong. It smells very like what's the word? Accurate. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah.
It's kind of like sweet, sour, almost a little bit spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy.
This gets like more intense and strong.
Oh wow.
And for me, it just leaves like a really strong vomity aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like acid reflux, kind of like sick. Sauerkraut,
The last part is our.
It's gonna taste a bit like salty, sour sauerkraut.
Now put your water now and throw away the cups because water is a bad idea.
Intense pickles.
It is intense. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad actually. Yeah, that's right.
More bugs.
Oh yeah.
So these are roasted mealworms with a little bit of chili powder on them.
This sort of thing I'm not squeamish about. Like bugs things.
No, I mean some people are really squeamish about it.
Yeah.
It's just about exposure.
But again, they're just sort of crunchy
Yeah.
things. Like,
They do get bigger.
they do.
Just a little bit, you know?
Oh wow, they're really big. Whatever. Yeah.
Then you get a big one. Nobody wants the big ones, you know?
No, kind of. It doesn't look like you should eat it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Because it looks too
like medicines, right?
okay.
But
Crushed or
crushed or like boiled or something. Incredibly crunchy. Doesn't taste of much, and then you get like a little bit of like a seaweedy kind of roasted taste from it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how you get like the water, like sea watery kind of taste a little bit.
Yeah.
Fermented fish section.
Okay.
Next up, we have hákarl, Icelandic fermented shark.
Okay.
Honestly, this is not gonna take bad. It's gonna be fishy. Texture's a little bit like squid.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fermented shark. It's a very strong, very small thing. Very fishy and salty.
I wouldn't say fish in a bad way. It's
No.
kind of like a mild strong fish.
Yeah, it's not like a bad bit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I actually don't mind.
No.
Right.
Piece, right?
So this is surströmming.
This is surströmming.
Okay.
It doesn't smell too bad. It normally smells much worse. So you get it on a shell of surströmming smelling day. Fishy, salty with a little bit of a petrol aftertaste.
Okay. It doesn't smell bad at all.
No.
Oh, it's like as soon as it hits your tongue, you can taste it. It's like really zingy and salty. And whoa.
Yeah.
So what is it? A fermented herring?
Yes, fermented herring. So you can ferment this normally, I think commercially 6 months to a year. Privately, people ferment this for like 3-4 years.
Wow,
So it
okay.
depends on how strong you want it.
Actually, quite nice.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, surströmming, it's known to be the world's worst smelling food when you pop the lid.
Okay.
It's all licorice.
Okay.
You like licorice? It has salted licorice before.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is saltiest you can find.
Okay.
Just be prepared for that. It's incredibly salty.
Okay. I mean, I like licorice, and I like salty licorice, but I've never had it where you can literally see.
Yeah. So this is lakritz.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, I was not expecting
No. This is saltier than salt itself.
Yeah, I feel like my face is turning in on itself.
Yeah. But it's good. It's really good. It's salty,
It is
it's
nice.
almost sour.
This is the last dab Apollo, made with Apollo chili peppers. Quite hot, but not exactly spicy yet. Just on top. The good news is that you don't have to worry about it hurting on the way out. You can throw it But they give you such a tiny amount. If you were having it with food, maybe you had to worry about it, but just a little bit doesn't matter. Oh well,
It's fine.
just build up a little bit, but I think that's okay.
That's hot. Yeah.
The next one is nastier. This is the bomb. The next one is nastier. This is the bomb beyond insanity. This one is going to taste a bit more smoky, like chipotle, but it's going to give you a little bit of a backlash after a few seconds. It's a bomb with a short fuse.
Right.
So it is going to take a few seconds to kick in.
Okay. I don't like the sound of that. But okay.
So it is going to take a few seconds to kick in.
Okay. I don't like the sound of that. But okay. The first one is.
Enjoy the pain, my friend.
It's like eating a knife. It's ridiculous. Okay. Here we go.
Throw away the toothpick. If you think that is it, when you swallow it and it comes back to hit you harder.
Yes, it does.
But not too terrible, I think. Manageable?
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Is it manageable? Do you think you can handle the next? Remember, there's no pressure for this
I think I'm good.
Alright. This is very good torture techniques. I learned it when I was working with the KGB. You can have the milk, my friend. The pain is gonna go away. The flavor is gonna stay with you for 5 to 6 business days.
Thank you. Oh dear me.
That was tough,
See,
right?
I'm not one for spice, so.
Me neither, man. Just if you want to feel a little bit better.
So how come? So this one's like a 2.5 million Scoville chili. This one's less in the Scoville. So how come this one is so much worse?
Here is the trap. The Scoville scale measures only the spiciness of the fruit itself.
Right. Okay.
So in the sauces, you'll find a lot more fruit inside. So the Scoville scale naturally goes up.
Okay.
This one is an extract. So with the extracts, you find less fruit inside. So the Scoville scale goes down, but the spiciness skyrockets.
Right.
Because the extract is designed to be more spicy and more concentrated. So it kind of hits you with everything it has.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. But I do feel like my tummy is a bit on fire. I needed 2 of the hot sauces, but that was enough for me. So I've decided I'm gonna go and collect the bike and head off onto the other side of Malmo, ready to cross the bridge a bit later on today. And then I'm gonna go and see my old school friend, actually, who now lives in Copenhagen. So that'll be nice. So I'm gonna go and do that. Maybe find some lunch somewhere after having tasted the array of foods at the museum. I actually didn't mind the foods. I don't think there was anything there that I didn't really enjoy. I think the beetle was interesting because it was just crunchy and sort of not a very pleasant texture. It sort of was like eating a sunflower seed without taking the shell off, that kind of vibe. But flavour was fine. There wasn't much that I didn't like. And things like the Swedish Vegemite, not my favourite, but nothing that I didn't really cope with. So yeah, I feel like it was quite interesting, but really interesting exhibit though. Good morning, I'm in Bremen. I am basically making my way across the country. So I've come from Sweden, Malmo, I went across the bridge, Ørebund, I think it's called, which is something like 16 kilometers long, and it's half a bridge, half a tunnel. Tunnels there, so they can still get boats across that length of water, and it stretches between Malmo and Copenhagen. I then spent a really nice day with my friend Tim, who we worked out we've known each other for something like 25 years, and we've not actually seen each other for like, I don't know, 8 years or so. It's a bit embarrassing, but it was just like we'd only just seen each other. It was really lovely. So we spent a good bit of time in Copenhagen. He showed me around. I didn't actually take that much video, so there's not much to show, but trust me, I had a good time. And it was mainly food oriented, to be honest, which I'm always fine with. Anyway, decided I was going to make my way across Germany basically as quickly as possible, because I was thinking about what I wanted to do with the last few days of my trip. And I realised that one of the things that I don't really get to do very often, because we don't have that many of them in our part of the country, is a theme park. So I had a quick look and wanted to see what some of the best theme parks were in Europe, and there's a few in this area. One that I couldn't quite get to is Efteling, which is in Germany, but it's more south. Couldn't quite make that one work, but I think I might come back and do that one some other time. But one that I did find is called Walibi. There's two of them, and there's one in Holland, which is basically between me and Amsterdam, so it's perfect. So I've decided that tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. I've bought myself a ticket. I'm going to go and ride some roller coasters, because why not? And yeah, so today, now I did a lot of motorway miles yesterday just to get across the country. Found myself in Bremen, which there's not a huge amount for me to do here, but it's a nice city. Went and had a little mooch around the square. Just now I've picked myself up a bit of shopping for lunch, and my plan is basically to set up my motorbike navigation and mooch my way across the country. Yeah, and then I'll basically be heading out towards essentially Amsterdam. I haven't booked accommodation yet, but I'm going to have a look at that on the way. Found a few places that could be reasonable. It's going to get expensive, I think, that close to Amsterdam. Everything just tends to get a bit more expensive. So yeah, I think the next 2 days are going to be a bit more pricey. But those are the last two things that I need to book, basically. Everything else is done. So tomorrow, Walibi. Day after that, Amsterdam. One thing I did find in Bremen this morning, by the way, is this stone. So this stone in the middle of the city centre is something that nobody seems to notice, and yet it's called the Spitting Stone. And there was a woman who basically poisoned 15 people with arsenic back in the early 1800s, and people spit on that stone. That's the point where she was executed, I think. It's the last public execution in Bremen. People spit on that stone in memory, I guess, of the victims of her killings. Nobody knows why she did it. She never really said. But yeah, it's pretty gross. Again, local customs are weird, aren't they? Good morning. I've made it to Walibi in Holland, which is a little bit east of Amsterdam, and it is, as you can see, a theme park. I haven't done one of these for ages. I normally go to Alton Towers or Disneyland in Paris, but I've never been to any other, and it'd be quite nice to, just thought the other day, it'd be quite nice to just go and see what another one's like. This one's voted one of the best in Europe, right up there with Alton Towers. Seems like there's quite a few rides that are suitable for adults. And what can I say? I'm an adrenaline junkie. It's probably why I'm a bit of a, you know, why I'm a motorcyclist and like to bungee jump and all that kind of stuff. And seeing as I'm heading home tomorrow night, I sort of feel a bit sad about it really, that the trip is coming to an end, and I thought I need to perk myself up a bit, so why not throw myself around some dodgy metal and wooden tracks and scream my lungs out for a day. So I'm probably not going to do much recording today on the actual coasters. I might try and show you what they look like. But yeah, I'm going to draw this video to a close for now, and then the next one you'll see a little bit of Walibi and the ferry home. So thanks again for coming along. As always, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for subscribing if you have already. If you haven't, please do subscribe along. Hit like if you did like this video, and send me all your comments as always. It's always just so nice to read your comments. I'm going to go and enjoy some roller coasters, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.